Hey guys, this is Mentor Tuba. We are going to discuss a PMP scenario in this video. Let me quickly read out the scenario and then we are going to discuss. You are working as a project manager for an agile project. Considering the nature of your project, you understand that if team members are unable to help each other with their tasks, project objectives cannot be met. As a project manager, how will you form the team? Option A, form the team with support staff so that they can help team members with operational work. Option B, form the team with people who have servant leadership qualities so that they can support each other. Option C, form a cross-functional team so that team will have the expertise in on domains. And option D, form a team of generalized specialists so that team can work in variety of roles. This is a super interesting and tricky question. And to be honest with you, on the look of it, at least 2 to 3 option choices could work in agile environment. So we need to check that which option best align with the PMI mindset. First of all, what's the ask of the question? So this scenario is in an agile project where team members are probably struggling with certain tasks which requires subject matter expertise. And if those are not fulfilled as per the expectation, then the project objective may be at stake, which is a big problem, of course, in any project. And this is a very hardcore scenario related to how the agile team members should collaborate with each other or should support each other. Right. So while considering the team formation, what should the project manager be keeping in mind? This is the ask of the question. I am going to discuss the option choices one by one. So starting with option A, form the team with support staff so that they can help team members with operational stuff. Of course, this is out. Well, it's not about support staff because support staff is going to be like just supporting with our business and with the continuity and ongoing work, which is definitely not the ask of the question. The question is actually talking about the work in progress. That it's talking about the work that is being done by that team, right? So it's not about support. So A is out. Option B, form the team with people who have servant leadership qualities so that they can support each other. Now, this is a conversation. So maybe those who are already in the agile mindset, working in agile mindset or with agile teams, they would say that option B is a good one. And to be honest with you, when I posted this question on LinkedIn poll, I received like certain uh, portion of the choices in option B as well. Though option B is not the best choice in this case, actually, but option B is like from an agility point of view, servant leadership is definitely a very important trait. And servant leadership is something that's not only demanded by Scrum Master, it's demanded by everybody in the team. By servant leader, we mean that you are naturally willing to facilitate others, you are naturally willing to support others, you are naturally willing to mentor and guide others, but servant leadership is more of a leadership trait and less of a technical, uh, expertise. So in this scenario, only mentoring, coaching, facilitating is not going to be helpful, right? We need something beyond that. So although in agile mindset, servant leadership is needed by everyone, but in this context, B is not the best thing to do because B is actually not covering the domain expertise and subject matter expertise in different areas like BA, QA, deployment, engineering stuff, technology stuff. Maybe B is not going to cover that. And question is clearly saying that team members are unable to help each other with their task. And tasks usually are at a more granular level, at a more technical level, at a more domain expertise level. So B is also on. So the real contest is between C and D actually. And when I posted this question on my LinkedIn poll, I actually received most of the choices in option C. So let's first check option C. I'm not saying that option C is the right choice. I'm just saying that I received most of the selections in option C. Option C says form a cross-functional team so that team will hit the expertise in all domains. So again, on the look of it, option C does not look like a bad idea at all. And option C also covers the different cross-functional teams and accordingly the domain expertise from different teams as well. For instance, the concept of cross-functional team is that maybe a separate QA department in there, a separate BA department in there, a separate engineering team in there, and within engineering team you may have different type of teams like design and development and technical and this and that, right? So getting the resources from different cross-functional teams and forming a team that actually suits the needs of the project would actually serve the purpose. Right? So I am not uh, against option C, but this is a possibility that option D is better than option C. So although option C is a good choice and we are going to keep it, we need to first check option D as well. Maybe that's better than option C. Option D says form a team of journalized specialists so that team can work in a variety of roles. Now, this is something that we need to talk about. So, first of all, what is generalized specialist? Generalized specialist is a terminology associated with, generally a trait associated with development team role in Scrum framework, Scrum uh, type of agile implementation, and journalized specialist. And you can see that these two words are actually antonyms to each other. So someone who is journalized in something would not be a specialist and vice versa. But this is exactly the you know the tricky part in there. So when we say a person or a team member is a generalized specialist, it means that he is a specialist and he is a journalist as well. How? So this is exactly the concept of T-shaped resourcing or T-shaped skill set. So T-shaped skill set actually says that a person who is a T-shaped resource would have one core expertise and multiple breadth of expertise or breadth of knowledge, right? And when I say that the development team within Scrum framework or generally the agile teams are expected to be generalized specialists, this is exactly what the expectation is, that each member in the team, each member, literally each member, including a Scrum Master as well, would be a specialist, at least in one core area, and journalist in a breadth of areas. Like, for instance, a software developer who has been hired for that job in the organization, but when we expect him to be generalized specialist, he probably would be expected to have QA skills if needed, or he would be expected to have DevOps skill if that's the demand of time, or he probably would need to sit with the BA team as well to groom the backlog as well, or probably he would need to sit with product owner as well to prioritize the backlog if needed because of the breadth of knowledge that he has. But that's not his core. His core is software development, right? So this way, if all the team members are going to be journalized specialists, then this problem is going to be solved. So whenever a member is struggling with his task, he probably could get the help of one or more generalized specialists from the team uh, as per their bandwidth and availability. So option B is a very well suited choice in this case. Now the question is, the last question is, why C is not better than D? C, like I said, C is a good choice, but D is the best choice. And in exam, we need to go with the best choice, right? So I would say it this way, that C actually talk about only forming a cross-functional team, right? But C doesn't ensure that the cross-functional team is going to solve this problem, right? The actual expectation in the agile environment is that the cross-functional team is generalized specialist as well, right? So if you have hired, for instance, a resource from QA department who is only efficient in QA, and he's very, very efficient in QA. But when it comes to other areas like understanding the code or technical language, or maybe uh, you know, the way he needs to interact with BAs or so, he struggles. Then probably uh, as per the option C, he would be part of cross-functional team, but he would struggle in the agile environment, because this is exactly the expectation of agile environment, that every member like at least has some sense of the different areas covered in this project. Some sense. I'm not saying that he's pro in that. This is exactly the concept of generalized specialist or T-shaped skill, but he should have some sense, some knowledge, some breadth of understanding, and ideally experience in that area. So C alone may or may not solve the problem, but D definitely would solve the problem. So I would say it this way, that C may or may not solve the problem, but D would definitely solve this problem. Right? I hope you like this explanation. I will be back very soon with the explanation of a different PMP scenario. If you have any doubts, any queries, any confusions related to this scenario, even after listening to my explanation, feel free to drop me a comment in the chat area, and I will make sure to revert back to you. Take care. Have a good day.